Okay, so for this episode of My Hero, I think there's a few things I at least want to say. Aside from obviously the action's pretty interesting, especially when we have Mina showing off how determined she is, and with her pink skin sort of starting to go away, which I will get to that point. But for now, let's start off with the beginning. Toga struggling completely, like having a mental breakdown because of the BS excuse on why she can't use twice his power correctly. No, that's not how that's supposed to work, but I digress. On the side note of that, we have Ochako being able to spot her, despite there's like a shit ton of them, but that's because she's able to tell when someone's sad and doesn't want anyone to be sad, which is more or less a commendable thing for Ochako, because a lot of her character is boiled down as the love interest to Deku, but there's more to it. She is the type of hero that wants to be there for other heroes, since in her little flashback we do see like her wanting to help others. That is the core of who she is. So aside from that little beginning part, we do have All For One being pushed by Shadow, only for him to, well, explode and then basically keep trying to run away, since his whole thing is he needs to get to Shigaraki so he can do his completion thing of transferring completely and being in a whole new body that's way more destructive based. And yet here comes Gigantomachia. Just both All For One and Hawks are just completely like, we get to see two sides of it. Hawks is supposed to represent the hero side. Obviously, All For One's representing the villain side in terms of what is this beneficial to? Which side is it benefiting? And then obviously it is revealed that we have Shinzo and Kirishima on top of the thing, on top of Gigantomachia. We go into the flashback of the other location, which we have Midnight's killer right there leading the charge. We have Mount Lady essentially coming in and getting some assistance in terms of, well, getting a giant freaking weapon. And then obviously this all goes to hell when Gigantomachia just wakes up. So, yep, once again, a lot of this, I will say, because it was chapter by chapter, him waking up was a cliffhanger, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of these are just a few chapters that have cliffhanger moments. So I'm commending the anime, at least in this episode, that they were able to somewhat not make it feel like it's just cliffhanger to cliffhanger. But we do have Mina coming in because Kirishima was trying to look for Shinzo, and then he's captured by this stupid thing. Because, yeah, why not bring back a classic from season 1 for episode 2? But I digress. So Mina, using her acids, was able to essentially save Shizno, was able to save her classmate, and yeah, we get an actual cool shot of her, and then we get to see her completely determined to try to be saying things about Midnight, angry with the one that killed Midnight. And then we have Shinzo, who was able to reach Gigantomachia and use what he was meant for, more or less suggestively telling him that we're not the enemy, they are. And yeah, they were able to clear their area. And then we have a cool line from Hiroshima basically telling Mina that you'll always be my hero. So essentially, like, these two should be a couple at this point. Like, it's definitely implied they like each other. As I said, implied with quotations. But anyway, so yeah, with Gigantomachia there, angry at All For One because apparently he was abandoned, left alone. And even with Shinzo's like brainwashing abilities, like even then it's like, it's more or less he's just pushing him into the direction that he felt. I love this shot of Mount Lady just coming in and just going all nuts with it. And then even though we get a brief moment of Deku versus Shigaraki, which, I mean, we're just getting a brief thing with the reporters, it's not important for this episode because everyone is trying to beat the shit out of All For One. And look, I have two things to say. One, I am surprised they animated him in just muscle tissue and bones, because, I mean, it's a little more than a kid's show when you do that. Second, this is what I'm saying before. All for One is just fucking around, and that is annoying as shit. He's supposed to be the super smart villain, the one who knows that, hey, I am rewinding. If I keep getting my shit kicked in, I'm gonna rewind even faster until I'm nothing. So, yeah, there's a problem there. Why is he fucking around? It's over here where he just one-shots Gigantomachia, which, I mean, okay. of course he's that powerful. Like, yeah, why not completely just say, fuck the plot, even though Gigantomachia should be very hard, even for, well, maybe not for All for One, but it is still absurd because none of the heroes are his level of durability. And yeah, everyone starts getting one-shotted, and then Hawks gets his quirk stolen, and, you know, all this fun stuff. Once again, he's fucking around throughout this whole time. Well, how does that benefit him in the long run? It doesn't. It's just plot. He shouldn't even have been held back for that long against these heroes. It's not like he's being fought by Endeavor, who is probably the only one that can buy into the whole holding him back at least long enough for it to feel like he is being pushed back by someone who's around his level. But a bunch of heroes working together, when he just does this, it just, once again, that's annoying. But yeah, he steals Hawks' quirk, and he's about to probably steal Tokoyami's quirk, and then, I mean, Mineta just comes in, and dude is funny and determined. I will respect his thing of basically sacrificing his own quirk. And, I mean, All for One is annoyed because, I mean, he hates the weak, and he just dips. That's how the episode ends, him dipping and heading towards the direction of Shigaraki versus Deku fight. What do I think about this episode? It is actually not bad. I mean, I am dwelling on one episode that I know is coming up. Not the next one, because it's Iron Might, but I'll give it a 7 out of 10.